So I've been I've been doing Zentai work since 2009. Now it's 2024. It's been 16 years, perhaps. You know, when before starting Zentai Art Project, I was traveling around the world. I travel many countries. So normally for the traveling visa, you get to stay 3 months to 6 months in one country. So when I go to one country, for example, Kyrgyzstan, Bishkek, then I would rent an apartment for 3 months and just stay in that apartment. Didn't go out so much. I just go to the market and buy things, and they have this brown bread. It's the only thing available then. Then they have a beautiful vegetables, very fresh and very tasty, because I guess many vegetables come from all the Central Asia. No? They are originated there, so anything you eat tastes so good. Then I get into that kind of atmosphere of Kyrgyzstan, how they operate themselves, how they behave themselves. I kind of change myself, adapting into the situation. Because I find myself a little flexible and I can mirror other people, the way they behave. So they don't feel uncomfortable, they don't feel strange talking with me. And then the tourist visa expires, then I would go to next country, for example India. Delhi to Bishkek is quite a beautiful flight. You go over one of the highest mountains of the world, and when you see down all the mountains, the view is amazing. I never see such view apart from the Bishkek-Delhi flight. I don't think there are many routes that you get to see such a high mountains from the airplane. And anyway, India gives 6 months visa for the tourists to stay for within 1 year. You get to stay 6 months in India. Then I will go Kolkata or Chennai or Pune also. One place for 6 months, and for India, I will learn music. I will learn sarod, the Hindustani classical music. One time I learned Carnatic singing, and violin also, because Indian classical music is amazing. Indian people are very, unique. They don't value the money as the primary interest in their actions. They do things because they have their own way, own belief in it. And it's not always about money. It's very interesting. And they are very friendly people. They casually talk to anyone on the street. You're drinking chai and you start talk to people next. It's very normal, and you don't feel so strange or pressure or something nervous. Nobody feel nervous about talking to stranger in India. You casually call people on the street strangers. You do that in a countryside. And things are more natural in India, like all the street dogs, they have their own characters and styles and politics. they behave like human, and it's interesting to see how they behave. So it's staying there for 6 months. I adapt Indian way of talking, and just I'm not sure if I'm coming tomorrow, but okay, I say I am coming, no problem. I couldn't come, no problem. You also start to behave irresponsible. You just say, okay, I'm coming tomorrow. You never come. Okay, I'm coming. Um, and you let go yourself, very free and easy country. And then 6 months passed and you have to move to other country. For example, you go Istanbul. Istanbul is very good to have, no? The flight is good, I think. Istanbul. From Istanbul, you get to go many places like Morocco and Europe or Central Asia, also very accessible because of the Silk Road connection. I think Istanbul and Central Asia, there are quite few flights. Istanbul to Russia, I think it's there. Good flight, like a cheaper flight. So you may go Istanbul and then you may take a train up to the East Europe, for example, to the Hungary. So I traveled, I think 5 years straight without break. Go to this country for 3 months, that country for 3 months, and each country has their own character of behaving. I adapt to it each time. Doesn't mean I really every day go out and meet people, but you're sensitive. You're in that place, then you're very sensitive. You observe the thing, not only the behavior of people, but something unexplainable thing that you adapt inside. And you feel the change within yourself. You are in India and on the street you're singing Indian song. Ho na ho, how bali baham. See, you sing on the street and then you take a flight to Istanbul. You don't do that. Suddenly you don't do that. You start to feel like that very sweet mint tea is so great, like you start to become very particular about the tea. Something like that. So I experienced that changes over the years and years, and 3 year, 4 year, 5 year. You experience it again and again, and I start to feel over here physically there are part that is not changing, unchangeable part of myself. Everything else changed, like my behaviors, my thought patterns, everything changed, but somewhere here I feel the things are not changing. Even I go different countries, and I start to feel this is maybe who I am. Whatever I do, it's not who I am. I may be just adapting or reacting to the situation. The situation is creating me, but over here physically, this much, this big. To me, I felt like that this much big size here inside the chest. I more and more I travel, more and more strong. I start to feel this element inside me, the unchangeable quality, became stronger and stronger. You see, I was very fortunate. For these 5 years, I never really money, work, do things because of money. Because when you do things because of money, it's kind of separating yourself from who you are. You put yourself away, and you have to dedicate your hours to do things you may not like or you're willing to do, but you do it because you need money. I didn't have the moment straight for these 5 years, so I always kept myself. I didn't have to do things that I didn't want to do. I don't have to put myself away for some time. Kept myself, so these things element become stronger and stronger. And I believe it was in Dharamsala, but there is a part called Dharamkot. You know Dharamkot? Is it Dharamkot? It's like a Dharamsala is like a big city. It's a very big city where the Rinpoches giving teachings, and then when you walk up the mountain for 30 minutes, you have a small town, mountain town. I think it's called Dharamkot. Where it's also there is shops and restaurants, small scales, but then you get more shanty, and I think that's where I felt those unchangeable quality inside me. I may want to learn how to express it. That time I carry my violin with me, try to express it through my violin. Don't know if it was successful, but I had a strong desire that time that I wanted to express, or some urge that I had to do something to get these things go out, like it's so wasting to keep it myself, things like that. Then after maybe 1 year, not too long, I start to join music art school. I joined the art school in Singapore and studied music composition. But that moment I kind of remember the moment that felt like I have to do something to express it. I also remember some German person staying nearby, and he said he's like an old man staying. Some people like this Tibetan Buddhism very much go to the Rinpoche, Dalai Lama, and Karmapa's teachings, attend the teaching, also attend the meditation like a Vipassana, and all kinds of things. But I don't know, but they do very seriously. Read the books and things, and he was one of it, kind of it. He said he does a lot of meditation, and then he looked at me and told me, "Oh, but you don't need meditation." I don't know what it means, but but still, the memory is in me. It meant something to me, and somehow it led me to study music in art school, I think. You don't know what leads you to there. And other thing is around that time I also attended Karmapa's teaching one time, and he was reading something. Was it English? No, I think it was Tibetan, and then there is a foreigner Tibetan monk that doing the translations, but then you still don't understand what is it. It's so something so particular to into the subject, and all the vocabularies and nothing made sense. And then at the end of the teaching, all the attendees of the teaching can give him kata. Kata is like a white cloth in Tibetan way of greeting. Like Tibetan people bring this white cloth called katao to the airport and welcome the guest, and give the katao in the airport. It's like a way of greeting. So you give the katao to kamapa. You line up, you're queuing and give the katao. But then I wasn't, how to say, devotee. I wasn't a devotee of Tibetan Buddhism and Karmapa. So I hesitated for a long time to queue and give the katao to him. And very last minute I decided to join, and I happened to be the last person. And I gave the katao, and the Karmapa looked at me. Karmapa that time was very young. Karmapa, not long ago after I visit, no, I mean long before, there was one news, the Karmapa used to stay in the Tibet side of China, and then he somehow escaped it with the car with the very few people. And it became a news. I don't know if you remember. Only few years later, I met Karmapa. Very fresh, very young, but so powerful. He looked at me. I had the eyesight. Our eyes met, and then some kind of thunder striked me through the head. I don't know what happened, but I became ecstasy. Like I lost myself for some moment when he gave a gaze into me. That moment I knew, some people in the world actually is like that, I think it was my first encounter of those spiritual power. So I never met Karmapa again, but among the Tibetan Buddhism sector, I follow Kagyu. Kagyu is where the Karmapa sector is more tantric. Nimapa, where the Dalai Lama is, it's more academical, I think. More believe in a traditional and very standard way of teaching. That's what I understand. And the Kagyu sector is a little more dealing with the energy. That's how I know. Like a Tibetan Buddhism have 4 sectors, and I believe those 4 all needs to be there to kind of create what is Tibetan Buddhism. I don't know what happened now. Is Dharamsala became very big? Maybe, I think so. More population, more touristic, more expensive. That time, maybe I paid 250 rupee per night in a guest house. A simple room, maybe with the bathroom. I heard from my colleague the other day, sometime somewhere in Rishikesh, it's what's that? Like 850 is very cheap for the dormitory. A bed in a dormitory for 850 rupee. I heard that's really, really expensive. That time dormitory bed could be as cheap as 50 rupee, but it may not be as clean as the 850 wala. Now I still work for India, like I work for the Indian company, so I don't fantasize India. Yes, I tell you, I don't fantasize. I don't like say that India is great and everything. Because when you're a tourist, you know you like India, but when you walk with, you make money with Indian people, yes, no comment.